Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's July 20th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and this will wrap it up for the week. No chart lessons on Fridays. Most of you know that by now. If you're new, I do take a break on Fridays. So we finally got some selling today. We didn't close on the low, but fairly. Considering how much we've rallied, we had a little bit of a correction today, and you would expect that. If this trend channel is correct, we turn down right off of it up here again, and we are into the overbought territory inside this purple and blue line up here. So, or purple and brown, or blue and brown, whatever color they are. I think it's kind of a purple and a brown. Once you get into that band, you're in the oversold or overbought territory. If we were in the bottom band, would be oversold. So we're overbought at the moment. It's been a huge rally. We've rallied really 700 points or so, 700 points. Actually, it's 700 points. It looks like we've rallied in since March. So we made a low here in March, and we moved almost 700 points in 4 months. So really nice rally, especially considering we went sideways for so long here. But this market just wants to go up right now. How long that's going to last, I don't know. If we back out here and we look at the bigger picture, if this channel is correct and we're going to go to the other side, then we'll probably pull back here and correct some, and then head on up. We'd have to steepen here, or it's going to take a long time going at this angle. So we'll just have to see what comes from this. Anyway, we did get a correction today. If we bounce off this midline, you can see that blue dash line running right through there. So if we are just pulling back to test that and we're going to go higher, we'll just have to see, because that's generally what will happen when you push through that. Notice we got some resistance on it going up, and then once we get through, you'll usually come back and test it on the other side. But the fact that we're overbought up here and we're in this, coming off this high, we could turn and correct quite a bit. So we'll just have to see. Excuse me, we'll just have to see what happens there. I'm still struggling with my allergies, so you'll have to bear with me. I get to talking and my throat gets to bothering me. But anyway, we'll just have to see that's the problem with the daily chart. It moves so slow. It just kind of gives you an idea of what you might expect. It looks like we might expect some more selling tomorrow, but it could reverse at some point. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out. But this, looking at the daily chart, is really just trying to give us some clues as to where longer term where we could be going. And there's a chance we could be running towards 5,000 plus here, but we'll just have to see. We've already rallied 700 points in 4 months, so if the rally continues, we could easily do another 300 or 400 points, I guess. So anyway, let's flip over to the intraday chart, the 2,000 tick chart, and we'll go through the trades, and we'll wrap this day and this week up. But here's how I saw it. We started out in this range. We failed. Looked like we were going to have a failed breakout. Notice we got a two-legged correction there. I mean, a perfect to-the-tick two-legged correction. Well, that's usually the center of the pattern, so that means we could easily get another leg like this one, which we actually went much further than that. What you'd usually want to do is you might even secondary look at this whole move here from here, and that gives you that same target. But you might look at this whole move from here to here and then come over here. And we got really close to that measured leg right there. So always kind of look for your measured legs. That was our first target, and then this other one would have been our secondary target once we started going lower. And clearly you can see we had two measured legs up. There's a couple of legs in, there's multiple legs in this one, small legs, but there's two big. Usually on a trend you get a break and two legs up. Well, that's exactly what we got, but it's two perfect measured legs up. So, and That's actually measuring this leg and this leg, but I think if you measure it from here to here, here to here, you still get, we didn't quite get a measured leg, but that's close enough to call it two measured legs up. But anyway, we had a big move down, hardly any opportunity to join it. Then we had another big leg down, no chance to get in it. And then here we finally did, and we had some more down movement. We just didn't get a lot of chance to get in it today. So it is what it is. There's still some trades here, still enough to get your 2 or 3 trades for the day. But let's zoom in. We'll go through the trades, and we'll wrap today up. We had the 7:30 news again today, so you really couldn't trade till after 7:30. We dropped down here. We bounced. We made an overnight low right here, and we went higher. Notice there's a new low, and you get a first entry and then a second entry. When we break above that bar right there, that's a failure. And there's still plenty of room back to the highs, so I like that one. It looked like we were a little overdone, so we could go and make a new high up here or fail out the top. So I like entering there. Just make sure prices are on the other side of that midline and don't enter right into it. And you can see it closed above it. So if it breaks above it, I like going with it. Turns out to be a pretty nice trade. No runners on it, unfortunately. Usually I wouldn't even try to get a runner unless you can get in down here or get in up here. Get in down here going long or get in up here going short. Then you might try for a runner. And of course, it looks like we're going to break out like we did yesterday. They're really testing it and testing it and testing it, and they cannot do it. We get a lower high right here, fairly bearish bar, a little ways back to the EMA. Nice setup. Again, no runner. This looks a little like a failure, but it doesn't find any resistance underneath the EMA there. So I don't like it. It's too sideways, too congested looking. And we do drop on down, and it just keeps going. You just don't really get much chance of anything going here. You might say, hey, there's a first entry and with this higher bar, but that's just sideways. This is an inside bullish bar, so you don't want to go short below that. There's just no setups here. And of course we come back and just turns down right off the trend line. You get a lower high here, but again, it's not a tradable one. The signal bar is not any good. It's right into support. I mean, there's just no chance to trade this thing all the way down. Yeah, just nothing much happening. I mean, you could look at this as a 2 legs back to the EMA, but we just came off the low. You would want to probably see it up here before you went short. I think it's too risky to go short right there. And it just bounces out of here, and then we're headed higher. It looks like it's going to be a failed breakout. There is a higher low here, but we're still in this downtrend, so I don't see any reason to buy unless you get a trend, and you do. There is a second entry right here. It's tempting, but the signal bar is no good, and it's right back into the support resistance line, and you're underneath it, so you got to be careful there. So I just don't think you can take that. It comes back. There is a second entry short right here, and it is below, but you're going short right into some support right across there as well. And you see it doesn't go far. It goes far enough that you could have got a scalp, but you just don't know it's going to do that or not. So you do get a close outside of this and a new low, and you would still expect a possible retest of this, and here we go. It takes off. But again, I don't see any trades up. There's nothing to get long on. Comes back here. You get another second entry. I think this is the leg down. I think this is a first entry right here. And so I think when it pulls back and it goes higher, I think that's a second entry. This is not really a leg. This is just sideways stuff. So this is your first leg down. And you get a first entry. It tries to go lower again. So it breaks higher here. You get a second entry. And then there's a failure right here that gives you another chance. And there's still plenty of room back to the midline. So and that's going to trap people most likely. So I like that one as well. It's not a perfect reversal, but it's still a reversal. It's still in a spot where you would probably want to try to take it just for a scalp at a minimum because of the trap. And this thing takes off and it gives you the measured move and then turns down. And of course, again, there's no chance to really trade this short. And you can see there that it just turns and off it goes. And there's no real setups here. to get short on. Runs down, it breaks out. Then we just kind of get stuck down here going sideways. Now I did like this one. You got the green channel coming up. You get the break, move to a new high, and you can see we've come across here a few times. Generally you would want to maybe see if you get a lower high here. But since this closes inside what looks like some resistance, actually I originally had it a little lower, but I moved it up as the prices changed down here. So that closes inside. So I like taking that one. It's good for a scalp, and then we're just chopping along. Here we get a failed break lower, but it makes a new low, and we are in a downtrend. So really, you're better off looking for shorts than longs here. And so that one's a little suspect. We get a higher low, but it's a bearish bar. And then we turn back down here again. This bar is not quite good enough. It is a first entry, second entry, and it is right off that. It is a triple test off that resistance. The signal bar is not very good, but it's not very big either. So maybe you take that trade. If you did take that trade, I think it's a little aggressive. Let's get the right bar. I'm trying to make a green arrow here, right arrow. And this is only, I think this is 7 ticks, so it's relatively low, no, 5 ticks. So, I mean, you can get in that with an 8 tick rule. So maybe you take that trade. If it was huge bar, 10, 12, 13 ticks, I'd probably say no. But 5 little ticks, yeah, triple test in a downtrend, maybe you take that. And then we continue to go lower here again. This is just a first entry. And you do get a second entry here. This is the perfect second entry. It confirms the trend line. You can see first entry, second entry. This is clearly 2 legs back to the EMA, the trend line. Nice bearish bar. Again, it's 5 ticks, so very low risk. I like that trade. And that you may get a runner on this one. And you could probably ride this all the way down here. You could at least, I mean, even if you only rode it to the first correction, major correction there outside the thing, there's 6 points. So you could easily get 4 or 5 points out of that. So pretty good move there. And we bounce off the lows. Come back. This is a second entry too, but it's kind of in no man's land and it's still inside this channel. We're not quite back to the trend line. It still closes inside. You could get trapped here really easily, so I don't think you want to go short there. You might say there's a triple test right here, but it's right at the midline there of this range. Let's just get rid of that. You probably would have wanted to adjust that too. So, and you can see that it's right into that midline, and that does look congested. So that one makes me a little wary. We bounced twice in a row. I think there's enough room to get out there though, if you were to, before it gets to the low. It just is 6 ticks. I just think it's too risky. Wait and see if you get a lower high, what you do, and then it's still congested right into the lows. We come back and get another big bar, but again, you're bouncing there every time, and it bounces there again before it goes lower. Just no setup. It's just too risky. We did try to go higher twice, so you might treat that as a failure, but there's support across there, so no entry there. Same thing here, just too tight, and that takes us into 230. So it just wasn't much after about 1 o'clock. That was it. There's a few trades, and then we had these stretches in here really from 8:40 to 9:30 for about an hour. There's nothing, and then you got to wait another hour almost before there's anything. It's just a slow. I mean, even though there's some movement here, there's just not a lot of setups. The market's really kind of mixed in here until I'd say when we started this second leg down, you could say we were having a down day. Till then, it was just a mixed trading day. And so you got to treat it more like a mixed trading day as well. But it was obvious by this time we're going down here, and we still corrected off of that low. So, but anyway, that's how I saw it today. You might do your measured move here off the range too. And that still gives you the same target almost. But it's worth putting it on there just to see. But anyway, that's how I saw it today. I'm going to wrap it up here and get out of here before 5 o'clock today. Lately it's been 6 o'clock from 7 o'clock before I'm getting these done and getting out of here. And I've got some personal things I need to attend to, so I'm going to try to get out of here by 5 o'clock today. But anyway, I hope you had a good trading day. We'll be back Monday. No chart lesson tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. But I'll see you Monday. I'm done for today. This is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.